Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, I picked this engine up about 2 weeks ago. It is an old marine engine. I guess you call it an inboard. We sat in the center of the boat and had a jack shaft that went out, just a regular shaft that went out, and went directly to the propeller and just spun the propeller. When the motor was running, the propeller was spinning. It's a two-stroke. I'm not sure of the date. I'm guessing somewhere between 1910 and 1930, as far as the little bit of homework I kind of looked up online. Not sure what's on that tag there. It's a two-stroke, water-cooled, liquid-cooled. Yeah, water-cooled. It's in the water. Don't know the horsepower. I kind of guess it's probably 2 to 4, right in that range. I have a project in mind I want to use this for, and it all depends on how well it runs and how it does what it's supposed to do. But I think it would be really cool. Not going in a boat, but that's all I'm going to say for now. But in this video, I'd like to see if we can go and get the thing to run. It has not run in 35 years, and it's been sitting in a garage ever since then. It was bought in an auction at a museum at the time. So somebody restored it, and it's sat. Other than that, I really don't know much about it. It does have one problem. The engine is stuck. It moves a little, but then that's it. Kind of hits a clunk. So I say we probably should start by getting that plug out of there, put a little bit of oil in it, see if we can get it to spin over, and start getting an education from there. So let's get you set up in a stand and we'll get into it. The funky plug, huh? We'll go give her a bunch of that. And let's see if we can get her to play well. It doesn't have a carb on it. They call them something else. I forget what the name of it is. Okay, there it goes. Fuel metering valve or something. Ah, nice. Making a scrapey noise. Is that the pump? I think that's the pump. Probably wouldn't hurt to dribble a little bit of oil on that if we could find out where. Yeah, let's go give a. It's like an oil port right there, just for such a. The mix on these things is really high too for the oil to gas mix. It's like 16 to 1. Should say low. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. That's nice. What do you think the chances are? Ow! Squish my finger. What do you think the chances are that it'll have spark? I believe this on our right. Probably going to be an advance and a retard. And I don't know if you turn it or see a thumb screw up here. Not quite sure what that does. Looks like it's just kind of floating on the bottom there. Doesn't screw in. Looks like maybe it's just. Let's see what that does. Pull up on it. Maybe you pull up on it and push down on it to kill spark. What else we got? So again, this is the carb. I'm gonna call it carb, but I know it's not. I probably should not mess with any adjustments yet, and hopefully it was put away with no fuel in it, but we never know, right? Fuel shut off. Looks like it shut off generally. The valve always goes with the direction of fuel. Open is that way, closed is that way. And it looks like for the exhaust to come out, maybe the exhaust and water. a water jacket there. I would think. I don't know if it would pick up from here and exit out here, or pick up from here, draw through, and exit out. I would think it would kind of pull in through the pump. And I wonder if we have a direction on this, or can it run either direction? It might even be able to run backwards. It might even be able to take the timing so far back the other direction and fire it the other direction. There's a two-stroke, it really doesn't, other than timing, there's really not much that affects it. It doesn't have, you know, as far as the bearings and everything in the bottom, I'm sure it's just keeping it wet from the premix that goes in. Let's go through the plug up there. Let's see if we got spark. We got two wires that are hanging off. I suspect we got one. I gotta go to that buzz coil somewhere. Yeah, I don't know anything about these either. Does this actually work as a battery? I don't know. It's got a door you can slide open. Let me get you set up in the stand. Alright, so looking at it a little bit better, these two contacts on the box look like they make contact with these two contacts. So that's the purpose of how that works. So those went in there, made contact with them, and then there's a shim that went behind it that put tension on it to hold it up against it. So then we have this going out, and these two, I would doubt they would contact right together. They would be the same. What would these tie into? This has to be the signal, the points, so to speak. This will be the on-off signal. What else am I missing? Was there something else that stood? What we got here? That's a ground. That's attached to the battery too. Yeah, it's another one there. Let's go see if that opens up. It looks like it would, right? You can get a little screwdriver and poke on that. Kind of poking and prodding on it. I don't see the cover really wanting to slide open. But it looks like it possibly has maybe glue right there. I'm kind of curious just to see what's inside. I still think we should move forward with opening it up. I'm going to try taking a blade. We'll put a blade underneath there and see if that'll lift up. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a little nail or something. It feels like it's almost... Do this without cutting myself to death. Probably ruining it. Actually, is there? Yeah, it's a little nail. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a little nail right there, and a little nail right there. I still want to open it. Been doing this since I was a little kid. Let's go see what makes stuff tick. There you go. How about now? Watch, there's like 100 of them all the way around. I can't see. There it goes. It's not much for seeing anything, huh? So that's not going to educate us much at all. How do you like that? No use serviceable parts inside. All right. I don't know if that just acts as a big battery, because what would be generating the spark? There's nothing else. Yeah, I'm guessing that's just pretty much all it is going to be is like a battery. Because there's nothing else to, there's no coil. Yeah, I think we're missing something. That told us a lot. So what if this just went to an external battery? Say we call this a positive and this negative. So the only way negative can get back is go through the points, and then it's got a ground wire on this side, right? And then put spark out. And this is just acts as the coil. This has a set of points in it too. I wouldn't know what voltage that would run at either. Alright, so I got a little power supply here. I do believe that we just need an external battery. Probably if you had a magneto to make power or something, yeah. But so we buzz coil, and it's going to be an on-off signal. I want to see if we're getting an on-off signal coming from that contact over there and how that works before trying to hook stuff up. So I'm going to grab a test light, and we're just going to go plug in, make sure that we have power. We do. And I'm going to energize. How should we do this? All right. So we'll ground. Should go hot or ground on that? Let's go with ground. And we'll take the test light. We'll put the power on that side, and we'll ground the test light to the somewhere on it. Let's go to bolt. All right, so we got a closed signal. Let's go see. Now it's open. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. All right, so it's open, open, open. So a window of about, it feels about 10 degrees or so. We're at top dead center, and I bet you, and we move that. Yeah. Okay. So that's our timing. We can affect where the timing is. Hold on one second. Alright, so we know what we have. Right there is an on-off signal. We need to energize it. Let's go with the plug end up. Let's go through the plug back on. We'll set that on top of the engine. And how do we do this? Anyway, and do it, you guys can see it. We'll go with. Let's go with right there and get rid of that. So we want to put. I'm going to turn the voltage off first. So I don't zap myself. I'm going to say that this is our hot. And then we're going to ground it. And let's turn that to where that would shut. See if you get anything. Oh, power's not on. I'm waiting to get zapped. We got all the way around. We get nothing. Let's say right in that area. I'm going to go put the test light. Let's shut power off again. So we know that that signal works, right? Let's go back to where we were. That was grounded. We just had it. Stay. Let's go right on the end of that wire. Actually, that wire goes right to the bottom. All I'm going to do is... Okay. I'm going to put voltage on the test light. And that signal again. We're going to go find where that's closed. Power it up. It's right there. All right, so right there, we should be buzzing away. We have nothing. If we eliminate this signal altogether, and if we were to put, say, let me set that ground up better. Alright, so I have ground going to the engine, and also this wire is going to the bottom of the box. Let's, if I tap this, that should buzz now. So I eliminated the points. We get nothing, right? Let's go kill power again. Nothing says that this works, right? Let's clean those contacts, clean that contact, and I don't. We'll drag a file. It's got some dust and crap on. I'll blow that out. And we'll drag a file across those points there. See if that's what our issue is. Got an adjustment on there too. Might have to clean that stuff up. We'll start with cleaning these three contacts up and running a file over it, and we'll try it again. Alright, got a piece of 320. Let's go. Make them nice and shiny. I could probably do the same on the inside of that battery box there too. And let's fold it. Fold it in half, see if we can get that in there. You can clean the inside of that block too. And it's got a couple of big brass screws. Shake the cam. The bottom one looks pretty good. Okay, so drop that back in. It really doesn't feel very tight on the top one. You could flip that around. There we go. And we all set. The ground is still hooked up. You got hot hooked up. You got no power turned on. Let's go turn that power on. Let's see if it'll do a buzz. Nothing. Let's go turn it on and poke. See the other end of this hook too, nothing. Sitting by my nads. And, yeah, I saw a spark. It did spark. There it goes. Yeah, I can look it up and figure out how it works, but it's much more fun trying to educate ourselves as we go along. All right, so we want to see if it's going to work through the on-off of the flywheel. So we need to do what? We need to make this our ground. Let's go try that. Let's go try putting the ground over here. And yeah. Ha. So we've got spark. Let's go see. Ooh, that does not look good. I think we're gonna have fuel system issues. Oh my. It's got gas in it. So. Yeah. Well, I can smell it too. So, unfortunately, it was put away 35 years ago with gas in it. It is shut off. I wonder if we can, if there's a bowl or something over here that we can, is there a way to access this side of it? Does this work as a bowl? I don't know. I figured these two are probably for metering. These three are probably for metering different fuel. I don't want to mess with them if I don't have to. Let's go pop the fuel line off. That's loose. Oh, it's all loose. That looks like a float ball, huh? It does not come out. I'm not going to force it. I figure that's kind of like a needle and seat. Maybe you take that fitting out and there's something that's screwed up into there. We could probably just try filling this with fuel. It's like cork. It definitely hits a positive stop trying to come up. We're going to bring a container over. We're going to open that up. I'm going to let that piss out of there, see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like somebody soldered up the cap. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to... Does that stick out where you can reach it and lift up on it, or no? It just kind of comes flush with it. Well, if you have fuel in it, that should float up, right, and come up higher. See, it looks like corrosion. Let's go hit that with an air gun, see what comes out. Yeah, see what that does. I didn't see a bunch of crap come out of it. That's a good sign. Let's see what we get. I think we're going to get a bunch of nothing. Yeah, that fuel system's all plugged up. Probably turn the sap. I gotta go shut that back off. That valve is really gummy too. You can barely see me turn it over there. It's like tar. Yeah, it feels like tar's inside it. may mix up a little bit of fuel. Is it going to run out of the bottom though? That's going to be a problem, right? Yeah. Looks like this whole thing is loose. I think somebody's been in here before us. Let's go check. I know it's all going to come apart and get cleaned. The whole thing, yeah. Get rid of this tag. I was going to try and just fire it. But I have a feeling that somebody found out that this was gummed up with crap. Are we going to clear? No. And then 5. That's exactly what that is. That's a float. But how does it get? Doesn't seem like to be enough fuel to go through there. All right, for shits and giggles, let's go put it together. Throw a little bit of fuel in that. We'll just see what we get. You know you want to try it. So that is filled up about halfway with gas. And I'm gonna go quite liberal with the oil. I probably brought it up another. I would say that's about 16 to 1, 12 to 1. Maybe even a little more. I tighten this fitting up so it doesn't piss back out. Smooth. Yeah, I think we better clean all that up. See if it drops down or not. Flutter, you think that would come up? That's probably just filling up the fuel line in the back. It did shut off when I blew through it. Yeah, you can see it a little. So I wonder if this is for like a priming it. Why would it stick out to the external side of things? Let's go clean up all this, get rid of this gasket out of here, and then you don't have spark and fuel just kind of hanging out. So I'm filling up a fuel bottle just so that we can have some to put down the plug hole just a little bit to maybe try to get the coffin go over and see if it'll take off from there. I did put a bunch of oil down it before too, so that may kind of screw things up, free it up. So let's give it a little, about that much. And put it back together. And I would think that I would probably advance towards me a little, so it doesn't want to kick back the other way. We'll turn power on. I think we're good to go. Can't get a good There she fires. Should put a mark. Should put a mark on the flywheel where, right before where it's ready to fire. You can kind of feel it, but yeah, we'll put a piece of tape where it wants to buzz. We'll call it. It's got a big window. The other thing is where the wood is, you can't get your hand underneath it. I wonder if it had a hand crank or something at some point to operate it. Or you just gave it a good kick, you know? Try priming it again. Guys that are familiar with this are calling me all kinds of names right now. That's fine. I'm glad you know how it works. By the end of this, I'll know how it works too. Ha. Eat my fingers. Blue's blowing smoke rings. Can you see it? Let's give it more timing. Unfortunately, I think that fuel system's going to have to be taken care of. Come on, go. Want to try going the other way? Yeah. It looks like it should have a crank handle on it. I don't have it. For the sake of spinning it, how about we take a piece of pipe, we'll cut a notch in it so at least it can kind of fit onto that, and maybe we'll drill, weld a socket on it, and we can attach to the socket for spinning it with like a good 1/2-inch drive drill, and then once it goes, maybe we'll be able to pull the thing off of there. That's my guess. Let's try something like that. Hopefully it doesn't rip out of the sides of it. Let's see how true it is too. I wouldn't exactly say that's. It's got a bit of a wobble. Let's try and chuck this up in like a plug-in 1/2-inch drill that we could run at low speed and see if that'll be enough. Need you to step over to the side for a sec. There you go. Does it have a high and low speed too, or is it just forward and reverse? 0 to 1,000 and 1,000. It's just gotta have a high and a low. Let's say it's high. There we go. Let's see. The power's off to the coil right now. So this will do for us. That might work. I'm going to see if I can clamp it down to the bench too so it's not flopping around. Alright, see how well I can do breaking my wrist. I'm kind of guessing on the timing too. I don't know which way. I would think that if you retard it too much, it's going to kick back at you. I would think for starting it, you would kind of have to start a little bit later. We are going to find out. Caution, I might throw the drill at you. She's going to smoke. I'm hoping it's going to draw the fuel through. I don't want to do that too much because you want to make sure that oil is getting to the bottom end, you know. By putting it in the top, that the bottom's not seeing anything. But we'll try to. Let's go straight up and down. She's a puffer. Kind of make sure it doesn't stop on where the buzz is, and I grab that, and it lights me up. The other way. You know we got to dig into that fuel system, but at least we're close. Do we have something fall off? That's on. That's on. Go that way with it. Let's go real far. Fired at the last second. We might have lost. Go listen to it. No, still going. Starting to look pretty wet. Let's go. Nope, still working. Might be getting to the point where it's just flooded though. Especially if it is drawing that fuel in. And we had our best luck right about there. just not getting into that carb. So that's where we are now. We know it'll run. We just have to figure out that fuel system. I have a feeling it's just a mess. Yeah, I think they call it a fuel injector. The reason why I know that is because it says fuel injector here. So I don't know if this is what opens and closes the access from the bottom of the crank. I don't know. I do want to pull this off. Take a peek inside because it does not look like an adjustment. All the other ones are adjustments. Yeah, it's got like crystals coming out of it. There's that little light I had. This light's gonna bleach it out enough. So that's a throttle plate right there. So this one closes and opens the throttle. That's your RPM. I would guess this one is probably your mix then. We'll leave that alone. It's on, it says 5. So we would want wide open. Get as much fuel as we can. And I don't know how this one's going to affect it. Right? Turns. I'm not sure what that would. It's got a cone on it. How to explain it? The base is staying still and this is running up and down. I don't know, maybe we can. It's a little exploratory. Springs and gaskets come flying out of it everywhere. I don't know what that does. It looks like caca. What's that supposed to do? It's like grease. But it looks like, you know, grease that was put there on purpose. I don't understand the purpose of that. I don't think you would oil the crankcase. I don't. Because the reason why I say that, because the carb is going in below the piston. And generally what happens on a two-stroke, it uses the bottom of the crankcase. The bottom of the crankcase. So the piston goes up. It draws the air fuel in to the bottom of the crankcase. And then when the piston goes back down again, it takes the charge and pushes it to the top of the cylinder and fires it. And it's probably this jacket right here, I would say. This probably looks like it's got a channel. It's hard to say because it's also got a water jacket around it. You know, the whole thing also has a water jacket around it. What we can do, considering we're all set up, is we still have power. Yeah, we do. So let's go try dribbling some fuel, see if we can kind of bypass the carburetor. We'll put some in the bottom end and see if it'll go. And if it does go, maybe we can keep gathering it a little bit and just run it for a sec. And we know that it's got oil to the bottom, you know. Liking that. We still buzzing? Yep. Put that plug back in. Socket's getting a little beat up. It's getting a little egged out. Doesn't like it. Yeah, and that fuel level never changed. So I don't think the fuel is going from here and being drawn in. Half. One. We're going in. Looks like some packing. Let's go see. What's that one? Like 1/2 inch. Let me get a pail. We'll drain this fuel out of here. We'll put it right back in the jar we got it out of. Maybe not. There we go. I wonder, no. I can say, I wonder if it uses the pressure from the gas tank to push it up higher. Done? I know you got old age on you. Now where were we? I think that one was... Is that 1/2? Yeah. Kind of self-explanatory where they go. I would think that you can open the body of the thing up. I don't see you breaking it anywhere though. Well, we'll just take the whole thing right off of there and put it on the bench. How's that? I don't know if we unthread that from the bottom side, or gotta be a way in, right? Power's off to the coil. Let's go take a peek inside there. Should just be the bottom of the rod, yeah. It's a crude looking bolt, huh? Yeah. These don't spin it. It's probably 1100 RPM is probably its max, you know. Yeah. Don't see anything special there. Anything broken anyway. Take a look at that hardware. It looks like the end of that connecting rod nut was hitting there. That must have made a nice noise when it first started up. I'm going to try threading it in a little bit just to support it. And we'll see if we can turn that. What we need. Probably a big adjustable. I thought there was one out here. Yeah, there is. So you can crack that loose. And watch out for that. There it goes. Well, see, not much to see, but there's a light. So does that have to push down? How does fuel enter? I don't see a hole from here to here. You? The light might be screwing you up. Kind of crude. You know, the flash on that. I would think that bottom, this is what was in it, right? So the center of that had the screw going through it. Had that one going through it. I would think that would push down and open it up, but it doesn't feel like it moves. Light's got you. I know, light's screwing you guys up. Try to back it up a little. Okay, something has to be able to open the passage from there to there. Looks like it comes in from the bottom. Let's just disassemble the whole thing. We're in this far, right? So that's got a passage clear. Ooh. Then this passage goes this direction. Let's go over on the bench. Alright, so fuel comes in through here, maintains a certain level, and goes out through there, or gets drawn through there. That feeds in through here. I see a hole in the side, and that passage goes across and gets metered by that. The right one? Yeah. So that meters how much fuel goes through there. This one threads into the top of this. There you go, it's got thread into that, right? Actually, that nut has to get run. So that would get running like that. All right, so that pushes down on the center, and it has a spring. Now the spring, you would think that whole thing on the bottom just kind of floats, maybe. Maybe that's just seized and stuck in there. Right, because the center of that, so why would it have a spring? There's no reason why that would have a spring. I don't know if it's supposed to move right there or if there's something further in. I don't know if that, like, that would unthread from there. You know what I mean? It's a separate piece. But let's just back up for a second. Okay, so the fuel comes in. Like that, like like that. Goes through here. And there has to be some port that opens. I don't know if there's something right there or not. I would think that it's probably down below this. That port would be down below. Guess the train's going by. And then that's how you kind of throttle the mix, right? By how much you're able to suck in. So where does the air come in? So where does air get introduced? So that's all fuel, right? There we go. That. And so that just allows fuel to come in. Someplace, air and fuel have to kind of mix. Would you think that lifts up? Air comes in through there. There's no other place, right? Unless it comes into the, we vent it through that crankcase someplace with that little cap that we saw. I would think it would be in here though. Because that's the case, that none of the adjustment would make any difference. I have a feeling that is supposed to move. Let's go and set this thing up on something and see if we can kind of tap down on the center of that. Let's see if we can get that to move. There it goes. Yeah. It was just frozen in place. Yeah. Well, that makes sense now. So as it runs and creates vacuum, it should lift up on this to help mix the air. And there's that fuel port, which no fuel was going through because it was just jammed shut. And there's that fuel port right there. You can see the little hole. All right, now we understand. I wonder if we should take this out or not. Or we should just leave it. If it's working, we should leave well enough alone. Let's put this thing in the cleaner. I don't think we need to take that butterfly out of there. It's not going to make any difference to us, right? This seems like it's kind of loose. I wonder if this is like an area that you can just kind of prime it with fuel to get it going, maybe. But again, the problem why it wouldn't run because it couldn't suck any air into the engine. Don't run good that way. So I threw that in the ultrasonic cleaner. And went over with a Scotch-Brite and kind of cleared it out, as you can tell, remnants hanging off of it. Let's go see if that port is clear. It is now. So I guess we can set it up where I'm just going to go and make sure that that floats now. I don't think orientation matters. Yes. Now it's free. And what are we missing? Capper to the whole thing. Let's take the center right out of that for now. A little snug. this one, I guess it limits. Should probably run that top down. Well, it's going to squeeze the packing. Limits the air intake. Let's run the packing down. Did I hit you? And that should limit how far that opens. It's got witness marks that look like it stops right there. That's better. Now air can come in. Change your battery. Alright, so we're pretty happy with that. We know what it does. And we want to meter. And this one's going to meter how much fuel goes in it. I guess there's no such thing as a governor, huh? Kind of set it to run at 1 RPM and that's it. I don't know if you're in a boat, did you just kind of reach back and grab this butterfly for? Actually, you're probably all over it. You're probably dialing all kinds of stuff back then. That going in. Run that in until it touches. Let's go about. I don't know why that's crunchy. We'll go right there as a starting point. And we got the fuel bowl. Could probably throw a little tape on that, try to bind that up a little. Yeah, this is not meant for this, but for run purposes. Again, once I figure out how I want to use this, I probably won't be using that gas tank. So I'm not going to be that concerned about cleaning it. But if we can get it to run and stay running, we know that that up, that's up. And that would go, is that a crack in it? Yeah. We still have to fill that up with fuel and get it on there. So what do we have? We have a plug. And again, I'm kind of guessing maybe that is used for a primer. And a little throttle plate is wide open. Put it back on. Had to go and take that needle back out so I could thread it in. I don't know if we're going to make another turn, are we? I don't want to push it because that looked like that rod again was real close. Just run that until it touches. And go about that far out. The fuel line just to keep the gas from peeing out the bottom. To fill that back up, or I'm out of fuel. Come on, that was better. That sounds nice and smooth, doesn't it? All that copper on copper stuff. All right, let's go get resituated to try and fire it. One more time. Power. A little bit of luck. You wanted to go. Keep giving her a little bit more. I think my socket's giving up. What's that? Let's go bump the timer straight up and down. And what else can we adjust? Let's go just try that first. One thing at a time, or else you don't know what you did. Come on, baby! I'm gonna knock the throttle down a little. Why is it going? And where is that coming out of? Let's go. We'll open the throttle back up and we'll run this one in. It's a half a turn out now. That was on the air fuel mix one. Does not like that at all. Open that up. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang coming to mind? Let's see what we got left for fuel. It is pretty low. Let's go top that off. She's going. Not quite sure where that. I might set up my gravity feed tank for it too. Where was it good? Straight up and down there? Let's go right there. My socket's just about had it. Exactly tightening, is it? Yeah, I like that full advance for RPM anyway. Wrong one. let's go open up that air intake some. See if that makes a difference. That's not opening at all. Let's just give it a little. So to open it way up. Willing to bet we're out of gas. I wouldn't say this thing is actually fuel efficient. Yeah, there's nothing in there now. Break time, reload. Let stuff cool off a little. Contact. Came out the hole. Taking a little bit less gas. Let's go a hair the other way. Something tells me it liked that more. The noises are just fun. Yeah, she's run smooth. Oh, I'm gonna go call that a success. It needs a bunch of love to go figure stuff out, but yeah, putting the timing a little further the other direction definitely is what made it click off, and then just uses up all the fuel that's in it. So until we get some stuff in it, yeah, that just uses everything up. I still got some in there. I was trying to turn it down the throttle speed, and it wouldn't work. This is the throttle plate. I turned it straight up and down. It was still revving too high though. So I don't know. That might be what this is. Helps also. All right, so I filled it one more time. Let's see if we can get it just to kind of idle down some. And I'm going to work with that intake. Maybe try to closing that up once it gets going. And that throttle plate is still shut, so. Yeah, it seems to help it. think we're on the right track. All right, guys. I think I'm done playing for today. I wanted to hopefully kind of get it running for 5 or 10 minutes, hook water up to it and run water through the system and keep it cooled. It's doing fine. It's not terribly hot. It's hot, but it's not ridiculously hot. It is definitely oozing out of some different pores. It kind of looks like maybe it shoots out the side of the crank. That rod is okay. Yeah, I thought the rod was bent for a second. It's not for the water pump. Got a bad base gasket too, it looks like right there. That's probably where it's going. Hard to tell. Feel free to put comments in, nice comments, don't be a dick. And, you know, any kind of education on these and what does what. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to be watching this that know way more than I do, but I'm getting myself a little bit of an education. We'll turn off Spark. And I had some fun with it, so I hope you enjoyed it too. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to go sign off. And I want to thank you all for kind of hanging out with me, working on some old stuff. And until the next one, we'll see you later. All right, I can't resist. One more time. I'm going to try bumping the time a little bit too. What if we went all the way that way? This socket has had it. Now I'm done.